All right, Ukulele Mike here with the key of F. The chords in the key of F that are most closely related are the F major chord, the B flat, and the C seventh. One finger. Now that B flat chord is what we call a partial bar chord, meaning that we're only barring these two strings with the index finger, the first fret. The middle finger is placed on the second fret of the third string, and the ring finger is placed on the third fret of the fourth string. Now for beginner uke players, that can be a problem, that chord, to get all four notes consistently clear, not buzzy or thuddy like that. The most significant problem is trying to keep those two down. Keep that finger secured with the thumb on the back, and always keep your fingers curved. If your fingers have a tendency to lay down like this, they're going to touch adjacent strings, and then you'll get this kind of sound. So keep the fingers up and keep your fingernails trimmed. If the fingernails are a little long, that's going to push those fingers back. So keep your fingernails trimmed. One other chord that's related to the key of F is the relative minor chord called D minor. And all you need to do is take an F chord, the F major chord, and put the ring finger, or the third finger, on the second fret of the third string. That changes it in to a D minor. F major, D minor. So once again, our chords are F, B flat, and C seventh, and then the relative minor, D minor. All right, happy strumming. Hi, Ukulele Mike here, the key of C. The three most closely related chords in the key of C are C, F, and G7. Now in this G7, to get that ring finger in underneath and to the second fret of the first string, you've got to remember to keep your wrist dropped so that your fingers are curved. If your wrist is up here or it's down this way, you're going to have problems getting that in there. So drop your wrist, keep your fingers nice and curved like this. G7. So we have C, F, and G7. And then one more, the relative minor of C, which is A minor, second fret of the fourth string. One of the easiest chords to play, A minor. And that's the key of C. Happy strumming. Hi, Ukulele Mike here. Let's look at the key of G. The chords in the key of G that are most closely related are the G chord, the C chord, the D7th. Now on that D7th chord, I'm using these two fingers on the second fret of the fourth and the second fret of the second string. You can also use these two fingers, or you can do this form of D7th, which is shown on the chord grid. You bar all four strings with the index finger across the second fret. Keep your thumb on the back for stability to secure it. Try to keep that finger always flat whenever you do a bar chord. And then put your middle finger on the third fret of the first string. That's a D7th chord. This is also what we call a movable chord, meaning that since you're holding all four strings down, then slide it up. We have a D sharp 7th, also known as E flat 7th. Move it one more, we have an E 7th. Move it again, we have an F 7th. So it's a handy chord to have. You'll be learning more and more, and you'll find out that these movable chords are going to be very handy for you. So once again, we have G, we have C, we have D 7th, and then one more that's in the key of G, and that's our relative minor chord, E minor. And notice I'm using these 3 fingers, even though the chord grid may show 4. You can use that as well. I tend to like just use 3 fingers. It's a little easier for me, rather than trying to reach all the way over here to the 4th fret. E minor. All right, that's the key of G. Happy strumming. Hi, Ukulele Mike here. The chords in the key of D. Well, we have a D chord. One way to play it is with these 3 fingers on these 3 strings. On the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd string. You may also want to try it with these 3 fingers. Now, if you're talented enough with your index finger, some people can do this. You lay your index finger down across those 3 like a bar chord, but you got to remember to keep your finger up on the back so that the first string, well, I can't do it, is clear. I don't like to do that D. Actually, the D that I most often favor, however, is barring all 4 strings at the 2nd fret and putting my little finger up on the 5th fret of the 1st string. And in most instances, I will play this D chord over all the other forms. So you have your D chord, you have your G major, and you have A 7th. Simply one finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. D, G, A 7th. Now, if you can play this form of D where you're barring the 2nd fret, then you can also play the relative minor of D, which is B minor. Keep your finger barred at the 2nd fret and put your ring finger over on the 4th fret of the 4th string. That's a B minor, the relative minor of D. Now keep in mind, whenever you see a letter by itself like D or G, it always means major. If they want you to play a minor chord, they'll show a lowercase m or min or mn. Otherwise, it's always a major chord. All right, happy strumming. All right, Ukulele Mike here. Now we've covered the chords that are within the families, the basic chords that are within the families of C, G, D, and F. Those 4 keys. The key of C, the key of G, the key of D, and F. Now, obviously, there are other keys that music is written in. You have the key of E flat and B flat and whatnot. Some of those keys are problematical on the ukulele. They're not as easily playable on the uke. The 4 that I've given you are probably the most common and the easiest keys to play in. On this DVD, most of the songs are in one of those 4 keys. Now, having said that, you can expand beyond that, and eventually you'll start learning songs in the key of A. You'll start learning some songs in the key of E, perhaps. And of course, you'll also find songs where not only are those 4 chords found in the key, but occasionally it'll venture out into other chords as well. But those are the 4 most closely related chords in every one of those keys. And keeping that in mind, with just the basic knowledge of those 4 chords and those 4 keys, you can play literally thousands of songs on the ukulele. That's basically about 15 chords. That's all you have to know. Now, you can find all kinds of books out there with thousands and thousands of chords, and they're handy to have, and it's a good thing to have a chord chart when you're looking up a strange chord. But quite frankly, many of the chords that you're going to be needing for most songs are included in the ones that I've given you in those 4 chords. All right, happy strumming.